With the release of Terrifier 3, I figured now is a better time than ever to rank this franchise. So, with all 4 feature-length films, including All Hallows Eve, I will be ranking them starting now. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and I have just recently watched the brand new Terrifier 3. My opinions on this series as of right now are at a high point. I really enjoyed these past 2 movies, and I think that they are some awesome new pieces of horror that we're getting. While the first 2 I don't love as much, I still want to go ahead and get to a full ranking of this series and tell you guys my exact thoughts. So, without further ado, starting off, at number 4, we have All Hallows Eve. Now, this isn't necessarily a Terrifier movie. It is more an anthology film that has the Terrifier short film added into it. The story behind this is that the director created the Terrifier short film and the Ninth Circle short film, and then was reached out by a producer on YouTube that said they wanted to take these short YouTube films and make them into a horror anthology movie. Damien then said he just wanted to take the whole movie on himself, film a couple extra short films, and make this into a movie. And while I can appreciate it, and I've watched it now twice and I can get behind it, it's not one of my favorites. It's a bit more just evil and mean-spirited. The scenes that don't include Art the Clown honestly are very forgettable. He is a standout of this whole franchise and of this movie, this anthology series movie that we have. Because of that, I just think the film falls back a little bit and it's a bit weaker compared to the rest of the franchise, which understandably so, that makes sense. Coming in next at number 3, we have the original, and that is Terrifier. This is the first feature-length film to completely feature Art the Clown and just Art the Clown. It is a full feature-length reveal of Terrifier, of that short film from 2011 finally becoming a full-length film. And while I respect the hell out of this movie and I understand why they went so mean-spirited and so gore-filled with this movie, because they needed to reach an audience with such a small budget. They didn't have the budget to make commercials or ads. They just had to have word of mouth. So I understand why they went all out with it and why they went so gruesome with it, because, you know, it needs to be something people talk about. If you just make a normal movie like, let's say, a Friday the 13th Part 2, Part 3, in today's day and age, people are going to watch it and forget about it. But this was a movie that will stick in your mind and you will not forget about because of the kills and because of the just gritty feel that it had. So like I said, I respect the hell out of it, this like guerrilla warfare type style of filming, but personally it is not my thing. I need more story, I need more depth to my movies. Coming in at number 2, we have the brand new film Terrifier 3. And honestly, I was considering doing a 1A, 1B because I respect both these movies and like both these movies equally. I think they are fun times. I think the story that we are building is insane. I think the main character, Sienna, her 1v1 like battle with Art is awesome. All the backstory with her dad and her brother and her family, it's just building out this epic horror story, this epic thing that I can't wait to find the conclusion for. But as it stands now, since I've only seen this one time, and Terrifier 2 has had a lot longer to like settle and let me think on, I'm gonna put Terrifier 3 at number 2 for now. It could bounce back to number 1, back and forth. Any day you ask me, I really don't know. I do think that this movie really went for it with the story and really went for it with the kills and the gore. I don't think it tops 2 in the kills and gore category, but I think that it's right with it in terms of story. I like how the new characters we meet in the cousins and the aunt and the uncle, they're actually very fleshed out characters, and you know, it hurts to see them go. That's the issue with a lot of slashers, both nowadays and back in the past, is you don't give a shit about these characters and you end up actually rooting for the bad guy because, you know, Jason and Freddy and Michael, they have more personality than these characters that are very one note, you know. He's a drinker, he's a jock, she's the final girl that has very little personality. It really does not matter about these characters, and I think that's a big issue, is where you're rooting for Jason, you're rooting for Freddy, you know, it's okay, but it's very hard to root for Art the Clown because of just how sadistic and evil-spirited this guy is. And I think Damien Leone recognizes that and gives us these well-fleshed-out characters so that when the end of the film comes and you're in that final battle, you're sitting there in your seat and you're just cheering for Sienna, you're cheering for the heroes of this movie, and you want Art to go down. You want them to get that guy. You hate him. You can't stand what he's doing. And I think that is really cool because I wish more slashers, more horror movies made you feel that way. I would rather root for the final girl than the bad guy. But when your characters are written so poorly and you're on movie 5, sometimes Jason Voorhees is just the guy you want to root for. But with all that being said, coming in at number 1, we have Terrifier 2. Like I said, 1A, 1B, it's really similar. I think this one is probably the best when it comes to gore and all of those scenes. Probably the best when it comes to story as well, because we're actually living with Sienna, Jonathan, and their mom. You see her whole family dynamic. You learn about her dad. You learn about their connection possibly to Art with these drawings and this notebook that Jonathan finds. So it's very interesting. It's a very well put together movie on such a low budget. And I think that without Terrifier 2, without it being as good as it was and as immense of a story and how iconic Art was in that film, without it can be funny and scary at the same time, without that, this franchise would not be what it is today. So we have to all, you know, thank Terrifier 2 and thank Damien Leone for fully going forward with that film and not just doing a rehash of the first one. I think these movies 2 and 3 are exactly what this franchise needed to have a strong life and probably be talked about for many, many years to come. Maybe in the same vein as Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think it could be brought up with those film series in 10, 20 years from now. And that's awesome to be living in that moment and to be experiencing it firsthand. So thank you all so much for watching my video. Let me know in the comments below how you would rank these movies. I know some people like 3 the best, some people like 1 the best, and we all have different opinions on it. That is awesome. I love to see that. Make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much. Happy Halloween, and have a great day.